everybody, welcome to another Japan adventure. Today I am in Shiga Prefecture, which is located to the east of Kyoto on Japan's main Honshu island. Yesterday I explored Hikone, a castle town, and today I am going to be burning off all of the Omi Wagyu beef that I've been eating with a bike ride around the national cycling route Biwaichi here in Shiga. Lake Biwa is divided into a southern part called Nanko and a northern part called Hoko by the Biwako Ohashi Bridge. The full Biwaichi route is about 200 kilometers. Today I'm going to be doing about a 50 to 60 kilometer route in the northern section of the lake from Maibara Station to Makino Station. Most of the ride around Biwaichi is pretty flat except for the part that I'm doing today in the northern part, which goes through more rural and mountainous areas. So if you want to know what the most difficult part of the Biwaichi route is, then continue watching. Right now it is the last week in November, so it is a little bit cool, around 47 degrees today, but luckily we have no rain, so I am super thankful for that. I just checked out of the ryokan that I was staying at for the last couple days while I was in Hikone. Now I'm going to be heading towards Maibara Station, which is one station away from Hikone Station, where I'm going to be getting a bite to eat and then picking up my bike to start this journey. We are coming up to the main shopping street. This place is filled with a lot of omiyage shops as well as shops that sell omi beef dishes. I went to two restaurants here, one across the street on the first night I was in Hikone and one further down the street. And yesterday's was the one that was further down the street. I got this amazing sukiyaki course. It was probably the most expensive meal that I've had in a long time here in Japan, but it was so luxurious and so very delicious. If you've never tried sukiyaki, which is the simmered meat that is then dipped into a raw egg yolk, I recommend just trying it once. It is super delicious and I had a great time at the restaurant. But now we are going to be heading towards Hikone Station, maybe 20-ish minute walk from here, 20-30 minute walk from here, and then riding the train to Maibara. Here we are at Hikone Station. A nice little morning stroll to get here. So we just got to Maibara Station. I am going to be getting a quick breakfast here at Biwaichi, a little pastry shop right by the station. There is a small selection of baked goods inside of the bakery that I just went to, so I picked up a sandwich and a strawberry milk. So we're going to be fueling up with this before starting the bike ride. So I have just picked up my bike here at Maibara Station. It is a beautiful electric blue bike. I love this color. But I was able to easily pick it up from the station. They gave me a helmet, a puncture kit, and some maps, so I am ready to head out. So here we go. It is about 10:15. Gonna go slow and steady. I heard there's supposed to be a lot of wind today, especially from the front, so that will be interesting to tackle. But let's go and explore our time on Biwaichi, the route around Lake Biwa. We are officially on the bike now, and we are going to the little underground area that will take us to the sea. That is our first goal, is to get to the water. So we are taking this little underground path. It'll bring us below the tracks of the train so we can go straight to the water. We are on another bike adventure here in Japan, this time in Shiga. Shiga. So for this first part, looks like we're riding on some city streets. You could see there's some beautiful ginkgo trees ahead of us, bright yellow. Like I mentioned before, it is the end of November, so crisp air, a little bit chilly. I'll need to put on my gloves. But thankfully, it is a day that is not raining. Super peaceful right now. Not many cars on the road, just a little cool wind in my hair. It's been about 1.6 kilometers. I think the lady said it would be about 50 something, so we'll see how accurate this all is. But we have the blue line on the ground. Definitely reminds me of when we were on the Shimanami Kaido. Have that same excitement as we're here today on another national cycling route in Japan. So we made it just on the first straight part from the station to Lake Biwa. You can see the lake right over here. It is very gray right now and also very, very windy, so a little bit chilly, but we are going to be biking along this lake. We're not doing the whole part today, but definitely the mountainous northern section is what we are going to be tackling. So right now we are on Irie Bridge, and we are going to be heading this way along the route. So I had to do some quick first adjustments, put on my gloves and a headband because it's pretty nippy in the ears right now, but feeling a lot better. And now we're moving along this road. The first big stop that I will have will be the Nagahama Castle, but it'll be in a little bit. So we have this day to enjoy along Lake Biwa. There are so many ducks along this road right here. I am definitely not making a great fashion statement here, but I usually never am on my trips. But we are here cycling Biwaichi, one of Japan's national cycling routes. It is a nice day, a little bit cloudy, but thank God for no rain right now. I think right now the craziest thing is that this lake is huge, huge, and to think that if all goes according to plan, I'm supposed to be on the other side of the lake in just a few hours today to return the bike and stay overnight. Now, like I said, there are some people who can do this whole lake, albeit very fast and with much effort in one day. But usually the recommended cycling route is about 2 nights, 3-day trip or longer if you're looking to take it a little bit more leisurely. Right now I've been biking at about 18 kilometers per hour on this little blue bike. There's just lots of really nice oranges along the way as we continue our path. The fall this year has been super late in all parts of Japan because the summer has been so hot and long. But finally, it's cooling down and we're getting to see some of the fall colors that Japan is so very well known for. Now, one of the things that is so nice about Shiga Prefecture is that it is located right next to Kyoto and very easy to access. I got to Hikone through a 50-minute train ride right out of Kyoto Station, and to go to Otsu, which is the capital city of Shiga, that only takes less than 10 minutes by train. So in this area there are lots of interesting things to do. Of course, there's this biking route that I'm doing today, but there is also Omihachiman, which is a little traditional city that has canals. There's also Enryakuji, or Enryakuji Temple, a temple I went to in the winter that was covered in snow, and that was absolutely beautiful. So it's a great place to get out of the crowds of the Kyoto and to enjoy parts of Japan that you otherwise can't. Pretty much right across the lake from where I'm stopped right now is where I'm planning to sleep tonight and return the bike. So we will be going all around this. The mountains are here and then reach this point, which is Makino. Beautiful little tunnel of trees. The ones on the left are red and the ones on the right are green. Very strange. Oh, I see a castle in the distance. In a quick detour because I see a castle and I can't just ride by a castle without saying hi. This is our second castle of our Shiga trip. This is the Castle Historic Museum, actually. So we've been riding for 9.9 kilometers, 9.95 kilometers, and this is the little castle museum area, Nagahama Castle Museum. But we will continue riding. We still have lots to do, so not really time to stop around here. But there's also a very pretty garden called Ho Garden that is around here as well. So we just stopped by the Nagahama Castle ruins. Now I'm going to be continuing the journey about 11 kilometers or 7.4 miles to the what roadside station? We are going to be going to the Kohoku Mizutori roadside station, where we'll be stopping for a little snack. Let's keep going. There's this little section where we are on the road and I can feel the wind. I just took off my jacket and I can feel this wind. So 11 kilometers to the Kohoku Mizutori Station. Also, there are some very, very dark clouds to the right of me right now. They look like some gnarly rain and maybe thunderclouds, so hoping that that is moving away from my direction, because I actually do see some rain coming out of those clouds as well. We can just hope for good weather on this journey. When I had stopped by the little castle museum, it was away from the water and I was feeling kind of hot, so I took off some layers. And the second I got back right by the lake, it's super cold and windy, so I had to put them all back on. But just shows that there's a very big temperature difference right next to the lake and in some of the more inland parts. But the wind coming off of the waters is pretty chilly right now at the end of November. There's some construction along the road right now, and there are these little animal signs that are carrying these poles, little tigers and bears it looks like. But really, Japan has the cutest mascots and items for everything, even for safety traffic signs. We're a bit from the water right now, but this part I thought was really pretty. We have some grapevines on the side of the road, and literally the second that I'm not next to the water, it gets toasty. The area that I've been riding by for the past couple minutes has been this area that I'm pretty sure is really good for bird watching and is a popular place to come see. Even though the cars are right next to the cycling road, which makes it a little bit less peaceful than I would have wanted, it's nice that there is this dedicated path for us to bike on. But yeah, too bad with the cars next to us. Kind of just takes away a little bit from the feeling of being in nature when trucks and cars kind of just zoom by every few seconds. But if you look to the left, then it's quite nice. So on these flat parts, I've been averaging about 16, 17, 18 kilometers an hour. So without the stops, I was told it's about 50 kilometers to Makino. So that would be a little over 3 hours at this pace. But I will stop for some food in a little bit, and then I will definitely be slowed down by the mountains in the end. So I could expect 4 hours, maybe 5 hours to get to Makino. I'm on the slower pace here, stopping and starting along the way, but hopefully that gives you a sense of kind of a leisurely bike ride. Definitely way, way slower than the people who are on the road bikes who I've seen zooming by, but this is more average person. We have just 2 kilometers until we reach the roadside station. That's where I'll be having a quick little break, slightly before halfway. But I had looked up the restaurants kind of in this area, and there aren't a lot. I found one soba place that looked really, really good, but they are a very small mom and pop shop that is closed most days, including every first, third, and fifth Friday, which sadly today it is the fifth Friday of the month. There are a lot more food options by Nagahama, which is kind of the area where I first started the bike ride. But up here we're starting to get to the more rural parts where there is not as much around. So just gonna take the roadside station when we get to it and then continue along the journey. Here we are at the roadside station. So we have ridden 22.11 kilometers and we are now at the Makino Eki. Gonna stop by, see what kind of regional foods they have for a little snack. Bet my hair is crazy from this helmet and headband combo, but we have made it so far, so let's go and take a little break. So there are fresh vegetables, a little restaurant space up here, which has some set bowls, soup, soba, rice plates. And then here is the shop. Let's see if they have anything interesting in here. It's always interesting in roadside stations. Oh, it's my favorite Hikone, the mascot of Hikone, which I have come to love. Lots of little snacks, candies, spices. For our meal, we have a steaming bowl of champon soup and noodles, as well as a shiso soda for a little bit of sugar, made in Shiga's Nagahama area. Itadakimasu. A chunk of butter, so we'll just add that in. So I finished lunch at the roadside station. It was a nice place to relax, and the meal that I really wanted wasn't available. I wanted some sort of like salmon rice dish, but they were sold out. So instead I got some champon noodles. Nothing too special, but the soup was really warm and that was perfect for this cold day. So I am now back on the bike. I have about 3/5 left. I've done about 20 kilometers, 22 kilometers, and I have about 26, 30 kilometers left. So just under halfway here, but the second half is going to be the doozy half. It's going to be the one that is a lot more difficult because we have 200 meters of elevation that we are going to be looking at. So I'm glad I got some food into my belly, and we're going to put that to the pedal as we go up and around the north part of Lake Biwa. Let's go and continue this ride. So for a time check, it is 1 p.m. right now. I am starting to head towards the more rural and mountain area. We're going to Mount Shizugatake, and it did rain for a little bit while I was inside getting lunch, but it stopped, which was really nice, but hoping that it stays stopped because I will be very unhappy biking in the cold and the rain. So gonna try to bike fast. There's no more big stops along the way, maybe just some scenery to see, but now we just have to get through these mountains to the other side. And as I mentioned, this is a very popular spot for birders. I've seen many people here with their cameras and binoculars, and there are lots of birds around. So people definitely come to this area to see some nature. I found another one, another group of bird watchers. They're more interesting to me than the actual birds. Birds, birds, birds. If you're looking for another good bird place, I recommend Izumi in Kagoshima in the winter, because this is when the cranes from different parts of the world come to winter migrate, and there are huge fields where the cranes come, and in the morning it's a spectacular sight to see the cranes flying. Wow, the colors on these trees on the mountain to the right of us is so beautiful, and it is so windy. I hope my audio is not dying, but look at these mountains and trees. Beautiful sight as we go to Nagahama city Takatsuki. Yay, we're almost out of the tunnel. Oh boy, it just started to rain a little bit. No bueno, no bueno. Hopefully it'll just be a short little thing. I feel like we're under just one rain cloud right now. To the left it looks completely fine, so just gonna bear with it for a couple minutes. I don't want to get out my rain cover, but it might be necessary if this keeps up. In this less than welcome little rain shower, we have reached what I think is probably the halfway point of our journey. The easy half, but half nonetheless in terms of distance. This area is super quiet. I can tell why I found no restaurants during my search. But there's a nice little stream to the left of me, and it's really nice. There's mountains on both sides. Pretty low mountains, but we're just continuing to follow the blue little course in front of us until we get to the next spot. Well, the good news is that the rain stopped and it's shining beautifully again. Just enough to wet my clothes a bit, but nice that the sun has come back out. That's what we want to see. We have reached Nagahama City, Kinamoto. Making slow, steady progress here on the route. I'm crossing over to the other side of this little river because I think this is just another path that I could have been on the whole time that doesn't have as many cars. Ah yes, this is where I was supposed to be. The path for slow bikers is on the left side of the river. That way you don't have to ride with all of the cars, and this is much nicer. Oh, this is so pretty. Look at the yellow fields and the mountains with the fall colors. Right next to the course we're biking by. Hello! Woo! So I can definitely still feel the wind here. This time it's coming from the right side. And it's been pretty flat, which is nice, but my legs feel a little bit tired, which might not be the best thing because we haven't hit any of the slopes yet. I do foresee myself potentially pushing this bike a little bit up the hills because there are some spots that are over 5% grade, which can be quite steep, but we'll face that when it comes. Right now, liking this little tiny path right by the little stream here. All right, we have finished another 10 kilometers. We are at a trip total of 30 kilometers, and this is just going to be about the time when we turn off this road to go into potentially some mountainous areas. Woo! So pretty. We are in the even quieter area. All these little buildings right next to the hill. It's very peaceful here. And we've started to hit some of our first elevation. Whoop-de-doo. Slow and steady. There will be a 7% grade for 900 meters. So that is much steeper than what it was like on the Shimanami Kaido, where the grade was only 3%. But we'll make it. We always do. There's lots of signs to be slow and careful on the way down. So we're gonna have to remember that once we are on the downhill. I'm definitely slow and careful on the way up. No worries about that. Okay, Hasn't been too bad. Just on a low gear, pedaling. The only problem I kind of have right now is that my shoes are a little slidey on the pedals because when it rained, they got a little wet. So that's been the most difficult thing so far. But we have some really nice trees that we're going under. That makes this pretty cool view. And then of course some bright construction signs warning us of upcoming construction. Since there's so many less cars here, I can finally hear myself and the world around me. And right after the tunnel, we're going to go to this little stop for a little picture break. Picture. Yay! All right, friends, so we just got out of the tunnel and did one of the first big climbs that will be a little bit steep on the way down, and there is one more slightly steeper climb. But since doing that, I feel so much better knowing that I could do it, and for that climb, I didn't have to push the bike, just had to go pretty slow and on a low gear. But leading up to that, I was feeling kind of tired, but that little bit of adrenaline definitely put my energy up a little bit. So now we are at a viewing spot right after the tunnel, and there is a great view up top of Lake Biwa. So we definitely have a pretty cloudy day here today, but can enjoy this view. And then there's a wet little bench and trusty old bike that has been getting us so far. All right, that was a nice stop. Literally, the rain comes again, so I need to go. But wow. It was good to get a little break, get some photos, and now we are heading down the mountain. Stop raining! Oh my god! Wow! We're at the northern part of the lake! Look at that! I need to put on my rain jacket. This is no bueno. Here we are at the north of Lake Biwa. Well, I stopped, put on my raincoat, put my camera away, and now the rain has stopped. I knew this would happen, but anywho. So with that mountain out of the way, we have less than 17 kilometers left. Woo! Can actually feel excited now that the sun is shining, and we have just a little bit more to go on this journey. I really like how well these national cycling routes are marked. There's just the blue line on the road pretty much all the time, and if there isn't, I know I've taken a wrong turn. And then they usually have markers for the next big kind of viewpoint, and that's really helpful. Wow, little stop here because this is a nice view of the mountain. One stop. This is Lake Biwa and some mountains. I still can't get over the fact that I was on the eastern part of the lake this morning, and now we are at the very top. Seeing as this is Japan's largest lake, that's quite a feat. It's only been 34 kilometers, but still feels like quite a journey when I look across the lake and see where we came from, which is pretty cool. It's nice and flat right now, and dare I say it, it's not too windy at the moment. And the rain has stopped, which is beautiful and nice. Still a bit cold, but it's keeping me from getting too hot with all the layers I have on. So that's actually probably a good thing. Just keeping moving, and that's been enough to stay pretty warm throughout this trip. Seems like there's much less traffic along this part of the lake as well, so I can enjoy a little bit more calmness. Just me and the wind in my ears, and all of the birdies sitting in the lake. Now we are entering the city of Nishiazai. Nagahama City, Nishiazai. We're at this big intersection that has no stoplights. And if you're a fast cyclist, they say you could go left. They want the slower bikes to go straight. But I can't even go straight. Oh, there might be a gap coming up. Okay, we're going. It's a little bit tricky, just gotta wait for the right timing. But this road will be traveled by a lot less vehicles, I think, which is why it's for the slowies, which is good. Now the route is taking us into, looks like, some more residential areas. So back out of the residential areas onto the open road. Looks like those might be the mountains we're going to be climbing next. Little bridge. And more fields of yellow. What a lovely view. This is so pretty, 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 pretty. Oof, I see some incline. Dun, dun, dun. The flatness wasn't gonna last forever. We knew that to be true for sure. Ooh, but this sign says Makino, and that is where I'm going. This says 12 kilometers. So we are almost there. Woo woo! All right, this uphill is an 8% grade for 900 meters. Oh boy. That guy passed me so fast. And I was like, what the heck? But he is on an electric bike, so. Not like me, but we're making it. Woo. It's actually been okay. I haven't gotten off the bike, which is a big triumph. We've made it on this 8% grade, and now it has kind of flattened out a little bit. All right, we have made it to this tunnel, number 2 of this ride. This is called the Yanokuma Dai-ni Tunnel. After this tunnel, we're going to have another big downhill section, so I'm going to watch the speed and be careful for that. Coming up this way is only 5% grade, so it is a little bit less steep than the way I came. So we're down from that mountain, and I think that was hopefully our last mountain of this trip. I am super happy that I was able to get up both of the ones that we did without too much of a problem. Just went pretty slow, but stayed on the bike and then got to zoom all the way down. So we have less than 10 kilometers left to go before we reach our destination for tonight, which will be perfect timing to check in and relax for the evening. This part of the route is not scenic, nothing to really point out, but we are turning. That is what I will point out. These kinds of open roads are my favorite. Just one little asphalt path with open on the sides. It's just a idyllic Japanese bike route. Whoever was in charge of making these arrows, I sincerely thank them. They've made this route so much easier. Just because I don't have to consult my phone or anything to know if I'm going in the right direction. And then they have lots of signposts along the way designating the route for both fast bikers and slow bikers, so you can choose your route accordingly. but it's just nice. Just follow the blue arrow and you will get around smoothly. I was gonna say that there were some cats ahead, but they're running very strangely. I think they are monkeys. I think I am sighting some wild monkeys, and hopefully they will cross the bridge where I won't go so we don't have to encounter each other. But that was the strangest running cat I'd ever seen. There's 4 of them, holy moly. I was preparing myself for rain and for mountains, but not for monkeys. So I'm just gonna keep on going. They went the other direction and started fighting each other. So I will stick to my trusty blue line and go towards Makino, where a warm meal, warm room, and a nice shower await me. No monkeys. No monkeys. I just found a beautiful spot. There's all these ducks swimming in the river, creating these little ripples, and then, or in the pond, creating these ripples. And the sun is finally behind me, so I can see some of the nice colors. But a super peaceful spot right here back on Lake Biwa. So I wasn't planning on stopping, but I just stopped at this most beautiful place that I have seen so far. Right by the water, there was like a little pathway, and it was full of rocks, and you could just see the water up close and all the birds. So I figured this will be a perfect spot to get a picture of the bike, me, and the lake before the sun goes down. So it took a little bit of time for that. So that's definitely where all my time goes. I have been biking since about 10:30, and it's now 3:30. And you could probably, I think you're supposed to be able to bike this in 3 hours, about 3 or 4 hours, but you can tell it's definitely taking me longer because I've been stopping, and there's just so many cool sights that I have to stop when I see it. So that's the difference between professional road biker and someone who likes to take photos and videos on a bike. But I do have to make it back before 5 p.m., which when I was planning was so much time, but now it's only an hour and a half away that I have to keep moving. And before that, the sun will set, so my goal is to be done within the next half an hour. The 50 kilometers that I'm doing is a quarter of the entire 200 kilometers, but I'll just have a little bit more biking until reaching Makino, where I will be spending the night. And I have arranged for a one-way bike rental, but there is a spot right at my hotel where they have arranged to pick up the bike, so I can just get there, and hopefully it'll be very convenient to finish that, and that'll be the end. I definitely like this part of the lake much better than the beginning part where it was just car after car after car passing me. Here it feels a lot more like nature, kind of in the boonies out here. That's why we've got some wild monkeys and the such, but it just feels a lot nicer. Oh my gosh, there is another monkey. Yabai. I don't know if you could see it, but there is a fatty old monkey on the side of the road. Oh, there's 2 monkeys. Oh gosh. Do you see? He's just running in front of me, crossing the road. Please don't attack me. I have no food. I'm just sweaty. Okay, we passed 1 monkey. Now there's just 1 more running in front of us. Seems to have gone to Le Hotel de Lac, so I think I'm in luck. It doesn't want to hang out with me, which is great. Ooh, look at this sign. It says Takashima City, Makino. Nice, we are in Takashima City. Almost at our 50 kilometer mark. We're at 48.4. And this part of the journey has been real nice. Super flat, super quiet, and nice views of the lake. And it looks like we have to wait for a truck. That does not look to be moving. So we've been waiting here now almost 10 minutes for this truck to move out of the way. I was able to look up on Google Maps though, that I have 6 kilometers left until the hotel. If we can just move. And we are finally off. Yokatta. That was a massive truck for a tiny road. 6 more kilometers until we get there. Woohoo! Small tunnel coming up. Baby tunnel. Followed by another tunnel. And another tunnel. Oh gosh, I had no idea this was tunnel heaven. And after this, another tunnel. We are tunneling our way to Makino. We are heading into the final part of this ride. Just a few more minutes until we reach the hotel that I'm going to be staying at tonight. Also the place where I will be checking my bike and letting them deal with it. Just kidding, it's the place that I've arranged for them to take care of my bike. So the lodging options in Makino are very, very limited, so didn't have much pickings. There are a few campsites and the guest house that I just passed, and then the hotel that I'm going to be at. But not a lot, so you need to make sure you plan beforehand, make some reservations if you need, and yeah, secure that if you're planning to stay here. Woo! We have made it to the Grand Park Hotel. This is where I will be staying tonight. And very excited to have made it here. Congratulations to us. Woo! We have done it. It is 55.0 kilometers. So exactly, pretty much 55 kilometers is what it took us to get here at the Grand Park Hotel all the way from Maibara this morning. But I am so looking forward to a shower, but had a fun time on this bike ride. Definitely a little bit different than some of the others that I've been on. Had to deal with some wind and some rain and some hills, but all of that beside us, I can feel my legs got a great workout today and I'm ready for a good meal. So thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow I'm going to be adventuring a little bit around Makino. I heard that there are some cool sequoias that are supposed to be in beautiful color right now, and then I will slowly make my way back to Kyoto and back to Hakata in Fukuoka. But I really enjoyed coming to visit Shiga. It is such a cool prefecture that I feel like not a lot of people visit, but it is so close to Kyoto that it is a great place to come if you're looking for somewhere different. So, I'm out of breath, but I am going to sign off for today. Thank you for coming with me on this video. If you would like to watch more videos, don't forget to subscribe and give this a like, and I will see you on the next adventure. Bye. Here is the hotel. It looks like a little cabin-y hotel. Got 2 beds and a view out into the water, so I can appreciate this little lake that we've been biking around all today, with lots of pine trees around. But we made it, got to the hotel. This is my room. Going to enjoy food and a shower and all of those good things now that we are off the bike. Let's enjoy.